I was in my marriage, my ex-wife. She actually caught me watching it one time, man.
That happens to all of us.
I mean, I was, I was trying to fix myself up real quick. But it does exist. It does exist that hey, how'd I get on my
what's up, man?
Yeah, so
oh, what is this? What am I watching? Welcome back, everybody. This is Man First Podcast. I am Mixed.
I am J0.
Now, I wonder if everybody out there watching, all my Thanksgiving survivors out there who didn't get their legs chopped off from underneath them at the dinner table. Welcome back. I hope y'all had a great Thanksgiving. How was your little vacation? It looked like something amazing happened.
I mean, not really. When it comes down to holidays, I like to loosen up. I like to give me a little drink,
right?
Little something in the cup. So my mom said she wanted a margarita, right?
Okay.
Because she has this. Okay, well, actually, the first machine. I don't know why she gets all these technologies. Her gadgets and stuff like that, but
latest and greatest.
Yeah, and she's always got to have the updated, and she brings out this huge machine. And I'm like, what happened to just having a button, a blender, Mom? Why do we have to do
obsolete?
That? Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, Mom, so I'm over here trying to figure out how to turn it on, and I plug it up, and I'm like,
was it like a smart blender?
I'm guessing
thing?
So,
Yeah.
Because, it had the ice thing on the top. You pour the ice in, and, that went horribly wrong, right? There's a mixer part. I guess you pour the mixed drink inside the blender. I don't know. I was like, yo, what is this? Margarita S2 3000 version?
I thought you just pour it in a glass and then pour something else in that glass and then you drink it.
Yeah, I mean, you're supposed to blend it up, with the ice because, it's got to have that margarita style. So, I'm sitting there for almost 2 hours trying to figure out how to get a margarita, man.
I'd have given up after 2 minutes.
Yo, bro, I finally just gave up, brought out the old blender, right?
Yeah.
And I'm still sitting there. Like I said, I sat there for 2 hours, and I got a new blender now. And well, apparently I kept pouring alcohol because it just didn't taste like alcohol. And I'm doing taste tests, so I'm getting drunk.
2 hours, huh?
I'm getting drunk trying to figure out how to get that nice tasting margarita from my mom, and she had one sip, maybe 3 sips, and she was totally out after she was done cooking, snoring and everything, bro. Oh my God.
But the food was on point.
Oh yeah, food was good.
Yeah,
man. I mean,
what else y'all have?
I mean, we had the macaroni is the
man.
heaviest macaroni in the world.
That's the only way to eat it.
It's gotta be 5 different cheese, and
need a shovel just to get a scoop.
Yeah.
That's a good mac and cheese.
And my mom,
that ain't craft.
When she cooks for an army. We discussed, the last episode, the whole party thing. She cooks for a platoon.
Just in case random people start showing up. But she knows 8 people are going to be there, but she provides for 28.
Exactly.
Just in case.
Right.
Yeah.
And I open up the refrigerator and I'm like, where are we going to put these leftovers? Because there's no room. And she has 3 fridges. 3.
Holy hell.
Yeah, 3 fridges. And I go in each one and they're all full. And I'm like, Mom, why aren't you guys not eating up this food? It's like they were hoarding leftovers from other days of cooking. Yo, did you guys plan to clean up this?
Hey man, these are all first world problems. You be all right. you be all right. You got too much food.
All I know is I did, like I said, I got, a little tipsy. Well, I won't say too, I got drunk because I was pouring Bacardi, tequila. Oh man, bro, you just don't know. I was just one of them, I think it was a pina colada, right? And it was sweet. I'm talking about diabetes. Okay, well, that was my fault because I didn't read it. I was just pouring. I think you're supposed to only pour a certain amount.
Didn't you ever watch Bar Rescue? They teach you how to do the drinks.
I don't.
That's a good
You know,
show.
us men, we don't read instructions.
Well,
we we just, we got
That
this.
look good.
Hey, it's simple. So I just kept on pouring, but it didn't taste like alcohol, so I have to keep pouring alcohol to get it to that taste, you know. But yeah, that was my Thanksgiving. I ate good, you know. I ate a big plate because I don't usually eat good. You know, I'm a truck driver, a ramen noodle diet. You know, in sort of way,
Yeah.
us truck drivers, we do the small, simple eating. You know, is eat on the go. So Thanksgiving was like, oh, I can't believe I ate something actually good.
Well, that's good, man. You know, and I hope everybody out there watching, I hope y'all had a great Thanksgiving. Hopefully I was wrong and there wasn't a whole bunch of 911 calls that I was anticipating.
Anybody talk about, you know, the whole election thing with you? No?
No, we didn't really do anything. We just chilled this
Oh,
year. We didn't do a whole lot. So it was part of my family did some stuff, but we decided just to chill out this month and just take it. I had some pumpkin pie though. That's important.
cherry pie.
It's
Cherry
a toss
pie.
up. Like it's either pumpkin or sweet potato. And I'm sorry, don't crucify me, but they kind of taste the same to me. I know they're different, but I would eat either or.
You know what? I have to agree with you on that one because I just eat and I'm like, what am I eating? Am I eating the pumpkin or the sweet potato?
Yeah, like at work they fed us some stuff and they said, we got food for everybody, go up there and eat. And I went up there and I grabbed pie. And it was catered by Bill. I don't want to say the name. Bill. but I ate and I had the pie and I was like, oh man, I think it's sweet potato. But somebody like an hour later said, no man, that was pumpkin. I was like, oh well, I'm pretty sure I couldn't tell, you know. So they either or, I love them. But yeah, welcome everybody back. We want to get into what we're going to talk about today. And first I want to do is we had a short or a part of one of our videos where we were talking about, actually this was your idea. This had nothing to do with me. I just responded to it. Something about married living separate. Like you're happily married, but you live in separate houses. That makes no sense to me, but expand on that, please.
Okay,
expand
well, you know,
for the viewers.
I mean, you know, it kind of goes back to that what I was saying about what do you think about marriage having a credit score? Because I mean, because you said that, okay, well, you know, it doesn't sound like it's going to be a genuine relationship when it comes down to, you know, with people like scam or whatchamacallit.
Right.
Well, what if relationships actually had a credit score?
There's too many movie
or there's a guy or, you know, guy or woman, you know, I'm creating jobs here, you know.
All right.
You know, I'm President Zero here.
Uh-huh.
Vote for me. Let's just say we have an auditor on relationships.
Well, you have to have an arbitrator on what is and what is not a relationship.
I mean, we got some. I think we got some dating coaches or whatchamacallit. We can have them take an exam, and they can. You can have them take an exam. You know, say, hey, you know, hey, you are a professional person to say that this. Okay,
well, you got to remember
it's a relationship.
You got to remember. So the idea was people who get married get money, right? And then after 5 years, I think you said they get a house. Or no, they get a car. The first thing is they get a car.
Yeah.
And then a couple years later, they get a house. And then they get like a bonus of like $25,000 if they're together for a while.
And they had to create kids.
But you remember, we went over the numbers on that. And my numbers were way off. So sorry about that for those that saw it. But so a car, you said a Tesla, for example, and we did the numbers. Like if 1 million people got 1 million Teslas and a Tesla costs $40,000 each, that's a lot of money, right? That's just the thing. We're not talking about the people that you said creating jobs, which is true, but now you have to pay those people.
Okay.
And that's going to have to come from the government, which is government gets their money from taxes. So now there's more taxes going into it. Then you got to pay for the cars. Then you got to pay for the house, which is 600,000+ a year for each family. That's way too much money. Ideally, I get what you're trying to go to. I still disagree with it, but
shout out to the new Elon Musk and Vivek. What was his name? Ramaswamy. I think there was a video that he actually did. I think one day we'll actually review it or whatever. But Bitcoin solves this problem. I truly believe that Bitcoin solves a lot of problems when it comes down to money and issue. Especially shout out to the was it Department of Government Efficiency. I think they're going to make or they're going to actually include into whatchamacallit. And we're going into the whole digital assets and stuff like that. So I mean, there's a lot of opportunities I see in that sector, and not financial advice, but I would say that recommend that most the people should actually look into it, actually get into it because I think it's the future.
They're about like crypto in general?
Yeah, crypto, Bitcoin, that whole digital assets type deal is a was a major talking point in the elections. And I think that kind of shifted the balance a lot too in a sort of way because, Trump was at Nashville, Tennessee, I believe. Anybody want to fact check me on that? But I'm pretty sure that he did make an announcement that he's going to start putting a Bitcoin strategic reserve, Oh, yeah, anyways, the point is Bitcoin solves this problem, money, and I think we can definitely work it out to where, the money problem will be solved in a sort of way. But like I said, I think we should definitely have auditors, and we come to the house and I'm like, okay, well, hey, seems like you guys got everything going, and I don't know why I got my Obama voice going.
Yeah.
And
hey man, he might be looking for a job. I don't know. He might need a place to fall back on,
And hey, this is a relationship. Okay. So how's the bedroom stuff?
How's the bedroom stuff?
Let's get to it. Let's see what you guys can do.
But now wait a minute. You said married living separately. So how would that work out in the scheme of things?
Okay, I mean, the whole separate house was just, hey, it was just to say, it was a man thing. Like, yo, I mean, sometimes relationships, I think they work better apart. Sometimes.
Can you name one?
Name one what?
A relationship where it's better.
This is all fantasy. I can't. I'm just saying that mostly.
Hey,
when you give a relationship time when you're away from each other, you guys start missing each other.
That part is true.
And yeah,
but living and being apart, living separately and being apart just because of XYZ reasons, those are totally different scenarios. I like if I had to go to, I don't know, Houston for a week, I'd be separated from my wife, my kids, and I'd miss them, like crazy.
Yeah.
But when I'm coming back home, we still live together. I'm just off doing something at the moment.
Exactly. You could be in another house somewhere else.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be living in another house. Like this is just like we know it's temporary. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So, it's temporary. I mean, you can go back to that house anytime you want. I mean, if
you're going to buy a house for how long? What time length are we talking about?
Forever. We talking about. Well, I mean,
there's no point of being married. You might as well just keep dating.
You're married is kind of exactly because the dating phase is always fun, isn't it?
No.
What do you mean no?
It's not always fun.
Okay, well, not always, but right. I mean, I'm sorry for saying always, but it's most of the time it's fun. It's like you got that giddy feeling, like, oh, I can't wait to see you here. I want to. Yeah,
but don't you? When you agree that at a certain point it gets to that part, it gets to that point where it's like, I'm going to say it, but it's like basically shit or get off the pot. You know what I mean? It's what are we doing? Like, are we just hanging out a lot? Are like, put the emotions to the side. Either we love each other or we don't, whatever. But wouldn't you agree that at a certain point you're like, it's been like 3 years. we're still together. What are we going to do? Are we just going to do this for the rest of our lives, or are we going to just make it official? Like, wouldn't you agree, like, it gets to that point at some part in the relationship?
You're already past that point.
No, I mean,
in my scenario, you're already past that.
But I'm saying, from the moment you get together, at some point it gets to that moment where you like,
I want to live with this person?
No, like, is this it? Like, is this all we are? Is this we're just going to hang out a lot together? Is that it gets to that point, wouldn't you say? Because basically, if they move in together, they're just roommates.
Right.
That have a lot of nighttime fun together, or daytime fun. They have a lot of fun, right? But they're just hanging out. That's really all it is. Because one of them can leave at any moment. You know what I mean?
talking about in marriage?
No,
Or are we talking about just like race?
No, I'm
in general?
you're dating somebody. A couple years pass by. You're moved in together. You're not married.
Mhm.
I'm saying, doesn't it get to a point where you're like, should we just get married or should we just continue doing what we're doing right now, which is really nothing.
Exactly. So that's usually my major point.
But
Like,
would you say
what's the point of getting married then?
But would you would agree that it tends to go there to that point.
To that point
Where you have to like
okay.
should we do something or should we just keep it where we are right now?
Yeah, I think that usually falls on the woman part, don't it?
Not really.
She usually says,
Not really.
She says, okay, what
Typically,
are we?
women,
But men are simple.
True.
We're like, oh, everything's fine.
I am me, and you are you, and
like, yeah.
All right, that was fun. Start keep watching TV. I would agree that women more than men
They want
have
the
that on their
relationship,
mind, right? They want they have the relationship, but they want the security of going forward. Like, what are we doing? Like but in all fairness,
so I have to be there to show the security. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, in the West,
I'm working practically 11, 14 hours a day.
But that's different. Like you're still coming home. You know what I mean?
Am I?
And coming home. Well, I mean, coming home essentially means to your home, your house, your kids, your wife, your
comfortable
family.
Spot. Yeah.
Yeah, your spot, right? Women want to make sure that whoever it is that they're settling down with, I don't mean settling, but they're off the market. They're not messing around no more. This is more traditional because good luck nowadays. But but like they're off the market. They're cutting off all their possible options, blah, blah, blah. We want to make sure that the guy they're with, and to be honest, so is their dad, so is their mom, so is their brothers or sisters, cousins, friends, family. They want to make sure the person she ends up with is a person that's going to be able to, in a positive way and in a net positive way, have a good effect on her life, right? I want the same for my daughter. I want the same for my nieces. I want the same for my cousins, my female cousins. I want them to be with the person who's going to be the best potential outcome for her, right? And I would say the same thing for guys. And we were kind of just talking about that with the whole OF business. You know, like you got to reserve your resources for the right one, because right now guys are just throwing money left and right,
man, bro.
to just randos, you know, just nobodies, like just nothing.
Do you believe that's healthy?
Hell no. It's not even just for
why
money.
do you think men are doing that nowadays, though?
It's just same reason why YouTube Shorts are overtaking YouTube. Period.
Mm-hmm.
It's just instant gratification. Mm-hmm. I don't have to talk to her to see her body, right? I don't have to engage with her physically. I don't have to. All I have to do is throw like $10 and I can see her do stuff that in the back in our day, we wouldn't be able to see a woman do that stuff, and we wouldn't have access to the ones we did want to see do that stuff, you know, unless they were top, you know, they got in that industry, you know, an industry I'm talking about. But that just typically didn't happen. It's not healthy on both ends. It's not healthy for the guy. It's not healthy for the female, whether they want to admit it or not. Even though not a lot, but a few of these women, relatively speaking, are not making a lot of money. You pulled that up on the screen before we started. Like most women in that community are making $151 a month. Mm-hmm. Most, very few. I don't know what percent, but I'm guessing less than 5% of women who participate in that field on that platform. I don't want to say it. So I was gonna say they know what I'm talking about, the fans, right?
Let me tell you about my experience, and you know, full disclosure. Okay,
you got your OF account?
No, I don't have one. No. But I have come to the realization it's just not healthy. You know, I did have somewhat of an addiction. You know, cool. I was in my marriage. You know, my ex-wife. She actually caught me watching it one time, man.
That happens to all of us.
I mean, I was trying to fix myself up real quick. But it does exist. It does exist that hey, how'd I get on my?
What's up, man?
Yeah, so
Oh, what is this? What am I watching?
Yo,
how did this get on there?
Oh man, but it does exist. Sexless marriages exists, and it gets to a point. Like I said, I take full accountability. I told you this. I said this many times in my ex marriage, that I think that's probably one of the biggest reasons why she started resenting me. Is like she see me doing something like that. I mean, I would pretty much say that she lost attraction towards me because I'm over here looking at something else other than her. And also, I would say that it kind of messes you up performance wise. When you want to go talk to another woman, you start looking at these women on the screen and you try to compare or what you see in reality.
The expectation, right?
Yeah, the expectation starts to it has a lot of problems with that, so that's one of the things that I truly believe.
It's somewhat equivalent to if women in general were to look at all men and say, like, how come you don't look like Dwayne Johnson? How come you don't look like Vin Diesel back in 2002? How come you don't look like this? You don't look like that. You don't look like Brad Pitt in Fight Club. How come you don't have the washboard abs and stuff like that? Like that's not normal. Like these people are not normal that look like this.
Right.
The Rock, Dwayne Johnson's a freak of nature, with respect. I mean, he's not your normal human being. So to compare, and you're absolutely right. What you're saying is we have the unfortunate habit of seeing something and being like, oh my God, that's so amazing. And then you go back to this normal person. I want you to do that. Like, I'm not doing that. Like that's, that's crazy. Like we forget because we're so desensitized to what we're seeing because we see it so much. And the sad part is the more crazy stuff we see now, that's all we want to watch. It's hard to go from, because you remember back in the day, the closest we ever got to that was like just risque sex scenes in movies. And that didn't show a whole lot. Right. But that was everything in the world to us. And then we got more and more access to online stuff.
We actually pushed the barrier.
Yeah. And now,
break the limit.
There's so much stuff out there, man.
Oh yeah. Like I said, it's on, x.com, it comes up in the feed out of nowhere. I'm like, yo, come on, man.
There's something going on Facebook where I'm not trying to promote it, but it's these images and you have to go to the comments and the link to that image is in the comment. So now they're advertising on Facebook.
Oh yeah. I get a lot of the friend requests.
Yeah.
And
I
think in somebody's genuine
thing,
I thought someone was genuine, but then they messaged me, oh, why don't you come look at my page? I'm like, man, bro, I'm deleting you.
Yeah, like they have no followers.
They have the profile seems
that's always been a thing. Like that's it's always been a bottom line is, yes, I do believe that platform, that whole business is not healthy. It's not healthy for men. It's not healthy for women.
What would you recommend men do? Or what would you recommend young men in general do to treat that?
It's not going to go away. So we have to acknowledge that it's not going to go away. We as people just want to watch, you know what I mean? Like it's not going to go away. So what I would recommend is be able to, in your own mind, know that what you're watching is the same as watching Star Wars in that way. It's not fucking real, right? Like what you're watching, yes, they are actually doing what they're doing, but that is not typical. Like that is not what you can expect to happen in the real world. Fortunately, but
I like to say it's a big waste of time.
I'm
a man. I do think about, stuff.
Of course.
Of course. I'm a man. I have my dry spells sometimes. I'm like, I really would like to talk to that girl. And I think it's gotten better because, now I actually do interact with women and stuff. I actually want to actually ask them out and stuff like that, just because I stopped doing that completely, and I kind of focus my attention to other things. I told you my Elder Scrolls and
Mhm.
my work life, and then also working out. All that stuff that will help you. How do you say? Kind of. It's like you kind of got to go to war with yourself. You got to tell yourself, like, no, this is not healthy.
Mhm.
You got to focus on something else. Like, focus on working out. Focus on, I don't know, maybe gaming. And I'm not saying gaming is something you should do, but it's a hobby. That's also something that you don't put a lot of time into. But definitely find other things you can get addiction to other than that, because in the long run, it'll really mess you up. Kind of really, it really messes you up. Let's just say that.
Yeah, it leaves a mark on everybody, and we got to remember. I mean, ultimately, and I know I've been going on these kind of tangents lately, but you got to remember where is it coming from? Is it coming from a good place, or is it coming from a bad place? Like the origin of what you're watching, what you're doing. Is it coming from? Is it something meant to benefit your life? Is it something meant to like? Are you, from the moment you start watching it to the moment you're done, how has your life increased? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
How has your life gotten
Yeah.
any better? And then next thing you know, an hour has passed by. And I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest. I used to watch that stuff religiously. I wasn't. I mean, I say I wasn't addicted, but let's be honest.
Yeah, I was addicted.
Let's be honest. Like, I would watch it, and I would look forward to watching it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So, and most guys will. I'll admit to it. It can't just be any random video. It has to be exactly what you're looking for. It has to be this situation and this thing, and it has to look like this, and these things have to be happening. And
Sometimes I gotta admit, like sometimes I like I said, sometimes you have to try to break the barrier, because the same thing
that's
over
what I was saying
and
earlier.
over.
Yeah,
Like, yo, I gotta go more extreme.
Exactly.
Like, that's why I meant, like, it's not healthy, because it
desensitizes us. And I
yeah.
mean, think about put that and replace that genre of video with war. Imagine if they had war on video, as to the same extent that they have this adult entertainment. Offing people would be not even sick anymore. People would not get sick by saying I gotta be
No,
careful.
I
gotta be
totally
careful what I'm
understand that
saying.
part. I think like I said, you see a lot of that on these social media sites now. They actually push the limit a little bit
Yeah,
more.
yeah, like it's
Especially when it comes down to all these what do you call it, these programs, Netflix, Hulu.
mhm.
They, in order to get more engagement or ratings start going
They gotta
up,
be
they have
edgy.
to push it even more.
They got to be edgy. They got to push the envelope. They got to go out. They got to go extreme. And what is the line? Let's get as close to that line as possible
Yeah.
without losing our jobs. And some people lose their jobs. So, but then somebody else gets hired, and now, but the show continues. You know what I mean? So,
Because they start seeing, okay, well, we're getting ratings on this, so
right,
let's
it worked out for everybody. Y'all got more money. You wrestling. Remember DX, right?
Mhm.
Generation X. They were the
Yeah.
crotch chops and all that stuff. The network USA didn't like them doing that, because it was it was for the time. It was like, oh my God, that's so inappropriate, and you guys can't do it anymore. Well, they wrote Vince McMahon a letter saying, you cannot do that ever again. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't do that. Vince McMahon took it to Shawn Michaels and Triple H, the guys, the wrestlers, and they said, look what you did. Like, say this letter. Now we can't. We're going to get shut down. And they said, well, tell you what, give me the letter. Well, we're going to go do a bit. And they read the letter, and they said, we're never going to say FFPPPP. They said everything, the words that they weren't supposed to say. They said it, but they censored it, and so it's like they were spitting in their face, but the way the network responds was, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen. That's awesome. You guys are great. It's like, they don't mean it. Like, if they could sell adult entertainment for on network television and not get sued or face any type of this and that, these courts, and the FCC wouldn't breathe down their back, and it would guarantee them millions of dollars.
Yeah.
They would do it.
Right.
It's not about morals. It's not about what's right or wrong. It's not about what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. What can they get away with and get paid to do? So we have to acknowledge like this is what's happening. We're not better people because of it. We're not going to grow or go into a better direction because of it. So as soon as we realize that, we can at least bare minimum, if you're going to keep doing it, we can bare minimum put it in a box, put it in the corner, and go take on the world. And every now and again, you open the box, but you close the box again, you go back and go out into the world. That should never be
the normal.
That should never be your go-to. That should never be your go-to. Some people are celibate, and I get it. Life's hard. Women are rough. So I get it. If people are willing to do it against their better judgment, same thing with drugs. You're not going to convince the half of the world to stop snorting and stop smoking. And you're not going to convince these females that make money doing that stuff. You're not going to convince them to stop, unfortunately. But it's not about you fixing them. It's about you taking care of yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And going that direction is just not, in my opinion, I think it's not the best way to do it.
Yeah, I guess, as always, this comes down to individual choice. Yeah, but I would definitely recommend just don't do it. Just stop giving your resources to these women. Okay. I mean, fine, you can go do it, but you got to understand, the road you're leading down to or going down to, you're not going to find a man that's going to be accepting that type of lifestyle. It's like,
now we weren't going to bring this, so we're going to save it, but what we're talking about kind of applies. So I want to show this real quick.
Yeah.
This is on X from Mario Naufal.
Oh yeah, that's they're pretty much a main journalist on X. They kind of he has this platform where he actually talks about the news, talks about what's going on in politics, talks about almost a lot of things, and they have these spaces, they talk about certain things, and I'm guessing he has a team. They put up certain subjects, or they talk about certain topics, or that I guess is circulating and is going viral.
Well, in this post that he put, I'll put it back up on the screen here. It says he posted. This was, when was this? I don't want to show her, but this was on today. 1.4 million American women on OF earn only $151 a month on average. 1.4 million American women are now creators on OF, making up a significant share of the platform's 2.1 million global creators. 2.1 million. While the average creator, more than 50%, right? Earn $151 per month. Top performers bring in over $100,000 monthly. The U.S. accounts for 22.45% of OF's global web traffic. So the average across the world brings in $151 a month. The U.S. is only 22.5%. So that means even lower numbers of American women doing this is making any significant money because it's just so oversaturated now. With the majority of users aged 25 to 34. That's from Sci-Fi Tech Today and EarthWeb. So that's just to give some reference to what we were talking about. Oh, wait. I'm going to switch over. There we go.
I think there was an actual article saying that the top ones, they're actually making more than an NBA star player, man.
You remember, I'm not going to say her name. I'll tell you afterwards. There's this female who went on there and she was making crazy money. But unfortunately, that inspired a lot of just random girls to want to do it. Now their business is on the internet and it's never going away. I remember watching something on YouTube where it was about these ex-adult entertainers. After they got out, they can't do anything. Like they're excommunicado from general society. They're always going to be linked to what they did. Jesus. Whether we agree with that, whether we say it's moral or it's immoral, you can't judge a woman. Yeah, you can. And people do all the time. And it doesn't matter what we think. That's always going to be in the mind. So it's just something to really, really consider. guys,
It starts with us.
it
really does.
because we're the consumer base.
And there's women on there, or I guess on TikTok, and they're like, "Oh, it's your fault. You're the one giving us the money."
It's true.
And I was like, "Yo, if you just look at those videos and see what those women, I guess they were making a lot of money, and see what they say about us men, it's really disrespectful. Like, yo, they don't have no respect for us. So you can give them as much money as you want, but I guarantee you they're looking at you, oh, little man, pathetic man. You can't." You know,
they're digital internet Johns. That's what they call them. They're tricks. That's all they are. You know, it's just they're faceless. Faceless money exchanges. That's all it is. It's just instead of going to the stripper club and throwing $5 on the thing for a lap dance, or not a lap dance, but a little. She comes over, takes put the $5 in her G-string, and has to do it no more. It's all digital. You just push a button, $5 goes to her account, and she shows you something, right? For 20 seconds. It's so easy now to get involved in all that stuff. It's the worst, because now so much money is going to these people. And this is not a judgment on the women who do it. This is not by any means I'm not demonizing these women, because they, for the most part, I would argue that they probably got trapped into the system as well.
Yeah.
I would argue probably over 80% of women doing it in some way or some way, shape, or form were abused. I shouldn't have said the word. There were bad things happening to most of these women to make them think this is the way to make it, right? Something happened to them.
And I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Women are easily manipulated.
Very true.
By what they, I guess, hear.
You want to be a star, don't you?
Yeah.
You want to be a big star.
By what they hear.
Yeah.
You know, men, we are, I guess, stupid by what we see. You know?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's unfortunate. So we were gonna talk about the current state of Zero Grid Studio, but we can save that for the next one. We're already at 36 minutes.
All right.
We'll save it for the next one. All right. So I appreciate everybody for joining us today. We had a pretty good conversation about some stuff, talked about Thanksgiving, talked about a little OF. And you anything in your last
I guess my what do you call it, my financial presidency. It's just
need some work. It needs some work.
That's not going to work out.
It needs some work.
I think, just
you're moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
It just needs some
need some tuning.
Need some tuning. Yeah, need some tune up on there.
All right, but yeah, just heed our advice. Take it or not, but definitely, think about what you're doing when you're looking at these sites, man. Just say if is this really worth it?
Yeah, where do you come out on the other end on that one? All right, well, I am Mixed.
I'm J0.
Talk to you next time.
Peace.